Welcome to another Soccer Down Here 1v1. My name's Jason Longshore. A little bit different 1v1 this time around. Call to action as well, and hopefully you guys can help us out with a goal here that we're trying to help rebuild a facility. Those of you who've been paying attention to the news lately saw the devastating tornadoes that ripped through western Kentucky. One of the towns that was especially hard hit was Mayfield. Mayfield is a place that I visited quite a bit as a kid. My grandmother lived there when I was growing up, and we would go visit and spend time in the town for a while. Really nice little small community. And when I saw that it was one of the towns that was especially suffering after these tornadoes, I wanted to learn a little bit more about what happened and some of the stories there. One of the stories that grabbed my attention was a place called the Soccer Factory. Coach Chile, Luis Pardo, created the Soccer Factory really on his own. It was a labor of love. Multiple years it took to build this facility the way he wanted, and Luis will tell you about it. And it was completely destroyed in the tornado that hit Mayfield. We're going to try to help bring the Soccer Factory back. We're going to help try to rebuild the Soccer Factory. But first, you're going to hear from Luis and hear a little bit about his story coming to the United States from Chile, ending up in Mayfield, and wanting to use soccer as a way to better the community, give back to the community, and teach the game in the right way to the next generations. And the Soccer Factory is such a special place in that community as a hub for everybody, whether you could afford the classes, afford the training sessions or not. Luis would find a way to make sure you were taken care of. We're going to try to find a way to help take care of Luis. So you're going to hear about the Soccer Factory. What I want you to do is also, while you're listening, go visit kysoccerfactory.com. And when you go to the homepage, there is a large donate button that takes you to the GoFundMe that is going to help rebuild the Soccer Factory. If you guys out there listening can make a donation if you're able, that is amazing. If you can't, but you can help spread the word through your networks, please do so. And let's get this one piece of Mayfield back up and running for the kids who need it, and for a family that needs it, and extended family. And as you'll learn, the Soccer Factory was not just a place to go play. It became a home for a lot of people, and especially the Pardo family. So we're going to keep you updated on all the efforts to rebuild the Soccer Factory. And if you have other ways you might be able to help, please reach out to me. Let me know. You can reach out to Luis directly as well through the Soccer Factory website. But we want to get this back up and running as soon as possible for the kids. So here's Luis telling us a little bit about his story, but also how this specific part of his story got started on Friday night.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity of being able to express and people to know a little bit about us and see what happened to us from one day to the next day. Everything is gone. The good thing is what we always say is that we're safe. Family was good. We were at our home when this happened. We have power and we have water in our house. We were out of it for a couple of days, but we got everything that we need to survive, to be safe, and we thank God that we made that decision. That same day when this happened, we had to schedule some games for our winter league, and we decided to cancel because we weren't sure how big was this.
Yeah, I saw that you stopped the games at 7 o'clock that night, and there were pretty young kids who were there playing. I mean, I trust me, I've been on that side of it with leagues and with tournaments, and nobody wants to go home. They all want to play. But you made the right call
Yeah.
and saved lives.
Yeah. So, we, like any other day, we have our league planned to try to start and finish in a period of time. And I've lived here 20 years in Mayfield, Kentucky. And for what I've been asking around before, we never had a tornado that actually came through the city and destroyed everything. Most likely, tornadoes go around the big fields or the outside of Mayfield. And we have had, I don't know, many, many and countless times the tornado comes in and nobody listens to, nobody um, pretty much, they say, well, nothing's going to happen. It's nothing happened in Mayfield. That's what most people say. But that night, something inside of us, we're like, you know what? Um, why don't we just cancel, because we already have some parents that are concerned, but half of the teams want to play, and another half is just kind of concerned about the weather. And once we keep looking on the radar, it feels like it was getting worse and worse and worse. But we still were like, you know what? Let's make the decision of stopping at 7 o'clock. We have a 5 o'clock game and a 6 o'clock game, and at 7 we should stop and everybody goes home. And that's what we did, because we had actually an 8 o'clock game and a 9 o'clock game and a 10 o'clock game. So that place would have plenty of people inside there that after you see what happened, we don't know, we really don't know how many lives we would have lost.
Yeah, I mean, I read some stories about this, and the turf from inside the
Yes.
facility ended up 100 yards away. Is that right?
Yes. So after we came back the next day, we were just looking for some of our stuff to see, where were they, and then we keep walking down the other street, and it was about 100 or even more, 100 yards, and we see this car that is covered with a big piece of our turf. And then you look right and left, and everything looks pretty much the same. It's just like destroyed, and then you can see pieces of our building and equipment, you know, so far away that you like, how the all these picked it up like that, like it was nothing. Our soccer goals that we had were actually made of steel. Like when we made them, we actually made them ourselves,
Yeah.
really heavy, because I didn't want it to move. I wanted to be really, really hard. So we made them out of the steel, and we found a goal about 250 foot on one side, and the goal is twisted. It's like somebody grabbed it and just twisted it's just amazing how much power this thing has.
I've never seen anything like it, and it's sounding like an infamous kind of story of how powerful this tornado was.
Yes, yes, yes. It's amazing. Like I mean, I've lived some hurricanes before
Mm-hmm.
when I was living in Florida, and I'm from Chile, and in Chile we have had a lot of earthquakes.
Right.
And when I was little, I remember in 1985 we had a really big one, which I all remember was running through the streets trying to not to fall in the holes, because the road was cracking up, and I remember seeing my parents calling me for me to go to them. But I remember the disaster that happened. But then you look at this, and this is something that you don't know what happened. It's just like something exploded, and it just got everything into pieces.
So you came to the U.S. from Chile. You were telling me before we started recording that you spent some time in Atlanta, and then settled in Mayfield, Kentucky, and you had a scholarship to play college soccer, and you stayed in Mayfield after that. What was it that brought you to America, and what made you stay in Mayfield?
Well, so in '98, maybe I can go a little bit more back. That way, everything makes the right track for people. But when I was 10 years old, I lived in Germany, and I played for the academy of Hamburg team. That's where my uncle lived, and we went there and lived with him. But because we weren't able to stay there, because the school part, we couldn't go to school, we didn't have the right papers to be there. So my mom sent me and my brother back to Chile, and she comes to the United States. So from when I was about 11 years old until I was 17, almost 18, I played in the youth academy of Universidad Católica in Chile. So, I didn't live actually with my family. Like they take you and they put you on a house with a bunch of other soccer players, and then you get prepared to be a professional soccer player. So on the meantime, I had a vacation they gave me every year to come and visit my mom for 2 weeks. So when I was about 16, 17, I came to visit my mom, and on those 2 weeks, like I had to stay fit. I had to make sure that I didn't gain 1 pound or nothing, because I was playing at the highest soccer level to become a professional soccer player. So when I came here and I was training, I was playing for some of the leagues, and just try to keep myself, in shape. A lot of people start promising me and telling me, hey, you should come here. And MLS just started out in '96, and
That's right.
they're going to start getting a lot of opportunity for new soccer players, and it sounds really good. So I asked for the permission to leave Universidad Católica to come to the United States to actually play professional soccer. And it took me almost a year until they actually let me come to the state, or let me leave Universidad Católica, because they didn't want me to go to play to another team, because, when you play for those youth academies, they invest money on you all those years.
Right. Right.
So if you go to another team, they have to pretty much just pay for the pass. So when I came here, I came as a free agent, and I went to try out to, at that time, it was Miami Fusion. And when I came here, I came as a tourist with a tourist visa.
Right.
And they couldn't sign up somebody with a tourist visa. So I just stayed in Miami playing for Miami Breakers, which is a USL team.
Yeah.
And then the time just keep passing and passing until somebody told me about Silverbacks in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
And I came here and to Atlanta, and that's where I try out, and I stayed there for 2 months trying out, and then and I started playing for some of the Hispanic leagues that they have there, which was some pretty big leagues that they have there.
At that time,
And
especially.
then by playing on some of those leagues, I had somebody that told me, and they want me to come try out for this school. So that's how I got to come to Mayfield, Kentucky, because I came to try out. They had a brand new program where there was about 15 guys from Argentina. There was about 4 guys from Brazil. I was the only one from Chile, but then he had some guys from Kenya. So the soccer program was going to be a really good program, which is what I wanted it. I was looking for a good soccer program because I wanted to continue playing. And and then once I got here in 2001, you start living here. Everything, I come from a little small town in Chile too, and everything kind of feels like home, and then I met my wife here in Mayfield, and she's from Mexico, and then everything just started getting where we get more and more attached to Mayfield, and I had my first business, which was a detail shop, and I started working for different car dealers around the area, and then with them, like they helped me to start my own dealership, which I start selling used cars. And all this time, I'm always coaching since I got out of the college. I started coaching kids from recreational soccer to competitive soccer and elite players, and then you start getting more serious and serious on the coaching part. Go get your license.
Yep.
Go get some coaching education, and just try to be the best of what you like. And coaching for me is more than just a job. It's actually something that I rather be coaching all day than work. But it's part of life. That we don't. I don't make a living just coaching, and by me coach all these kids around this area that we have. It's something that it fulfill me inside. That I want to give the opportunities to all these kids that they have talent, that they have they're wanting to practice, they're wanting to train, they get better every time. I wanted to give the same chance that I got when I was little. That I had people that coached me that we never paid. If we didn't have money, they take me to the tournaments. They pay for my stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to do to give back to my community the same way that I was given when I was little. And plus, my family, my whole family, we're all involved with soccer. I have
Right.
a 15-year-old son, I have a 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they're all into soccer. So when we were at Soccer Factory, we were all there, like all the time. We ran Soccer Factory. My daughter, I have a daughter that's 24 years old. She's the one that pretty much managed the whole Soccer Factory, and that's why it was a family-owned business because we didn't have really more sources to start it out like that because it was something that I wanted to give back to my community. A vision that I had from years ago when I was coaching for different clubs. I was like, why do we only practice 2 times a week and then a game on a weekend?
Yep.
When I was their age, I was practicing every day and then games on the weekend. And I was like, you know what? I got to build something to coach the kids the same way that I was coached when I was young. And I need to bring something to our town and our community and the surroundings of our community, our town, that we will have kids that they want to practice all the time. And that's what I tell a lot of the people that ask me, like we have kids that came from an hour away from here to practice. We have kids that drive, 4 or 5 days a week because they want to practice more, and the parents support them on doing that. And we wanted to keep that, the atmosphere of wanting to be better, wanting to get better, and that's how I was brought up when I was little, and I wanted to feel the same stuff here, like I don't know how many people, from South America that could tell you that, we played a night in the streets until 11, 12 at night,
Yeah.
with our friends in front of our houses. We made this um, scrimmage, between one guy that lived from the other side of the block, and they came to our block, and we made the soccer goals out of two rocks, and then we just played there, and we did that every night. Well, I wanted to bring something like that for our kids and make them feel the same way that if they want to practice, listen, come to Soccer Factory. We got something for you to do. We had kids that wanted to. We have, for example, parents that will call me. They're like, "Listen, my kid is going to a camp, All American camp, and I want to get him ready for that." And we do a training program for him before he goes.
Right.
Boom, they'll bring him. We train that kid for that, get him ready, so get him. mentally, physically ready. So when he goes to do that camp or trying out for something, he's 100% ready for that. And and we did it at all the levels, from little kids all the way to college players. I had college kids as they came on vacation and they wanted to get ready for the next season. And that's where we got them ready. And that was something that I feel like we were unique comparing to a lot of the clubs around here. That we were open for everybody. It was not just for one club.
Right.
And right here, people met from different places. Build friends, build relationship, and then it was amazing. You came in here and everybody was happy. Everybody was just talking about soccer, talking about this. It was incredible.
There's so many things as I've gotten to learn a little bit about the soccer factory that have really stuck with me and have either touched me from like my own experiences or things that I just want to see more in the game in this country. I guess the number one thing is it took you a couple of years to build this the way you wanted, and you did it yourself. It wasn't, a facility that you paid a bunch of people to come in and build for you. It was like everything you put into it to make this happen the way you wanted. And it was about 10,000 square feet, a 5v5 pitch, and you had space in there, but it became that labor of love for you and your family, right?
Yeah. So everything started, like I told you earlier. We had a detail shop and we have a car dealer that we bought this little piece of land from a organization that has help people with no resources. So they have this big piece of land in the back of our buildings that we bought a little piece because we wanted to put the cars over there, park the cars, and then they keep selling me piece by piece by piece until finally I was like, you know what, this place is big enough to have for me to do my soccer complex that I always dream about. And then, you start going and asking, well, how much would a building cost to build? How much would this? And you start going with these numbers that are, you never seen in your life, that you never have the money to do that.
Right.
So what I did is that, I have so many friends that I've done business with, as far as like cars and people that help me. So little by little, like I was telling you earlier, like if somebody had for sale, wood, and I had to drive 200 miles, but I get it at a cheaper price. Like I will drive, get it, and put it there, and to start getting all the stuff that I needed it,
Mm-hmm.
and of course during that time, like a lot of stuff had to change with the design of the building because I couldn't find the right material, I couldn't find the right price, and it just got where I had to change these, change that. But it was something that I built where my plan was I want to build this for the whole year. So in the summer, in spring and summer, we had half of the building walls will come out, so it
Okay.
will be open. And then in winter, the same panelings that we have, we'll put them back and we close the building so we can have the heat inside there.
Makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
so even if it was raining, even if it was too hot, because sometimes in summer it gets too hot and you don't want to see these little kids running on 105 degrees outside. So when you go inside the building, there was no walls, so there was a breeze coming on with fans, and we had the field there. So we were able to keep those practices on and on and on and on without canceling, without stopping. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too wet, it's too. That's how I build it, thinking about every situation that will take a practice away from our kids. I didn't want that no more. I wanted to say, okay, you guys want to practice? Here, we got it. We got it. And that's why inside over there we had a little gym, small gym, because we got kids that are 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17. They need the special workout. Then, we have kinder soccer. We had like a little space over there too where we had, little bitty kids that just learning,
Yeah.
and we had speed and agility programs. We had a small area where we did birthday parties for
Yeah.
some of the people that wanted to rent it out for birthday parties. Then all our local kids from high school, they will rent it out to a cheap price, so they can be here at night playing instead of doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll have to stay here with them until 10, 11 o'clock, sometimes 12 o'clock, waiting for them to finish so I can close. And all those little bitty things that, you start building, people that wants to train, people that wants to play. There's a birthday party. Okay, we're going to have a camp, a clinic. We have a new coach that is wanting to do this. They come here, we set them up. It's just stuff that took years of building to finally make it the way that I wanted to. And that's something that I feel like we were getting there, because I can tell you right now there was still some other stuff that I could have done differently, but when you building something with just your own money that you work every week, every day, or like we had some rental houses that we had to sell those houses to be able to put more money on material. I had to go get a loan from the bank so I can finish this part. It's just like so many different things that it brought it to where I was able to build this, and that's why it took me so long, because everybody are like, well, why did it took you so long? And it's because I built it myself. I didn't have a big company say, hey, I want this, this, and this, and let's get it done. It was really done by my brain. Like, I want this like this, or this is not going to work. I'm going to change it this way. I only have this much material. And it gets where you keep building and building until you see your idea there, and then because I had so many people that were asking me, well, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And I would tell them, and nobody will believe me. Nobody will see it in the
Right.
same vision that I had, how I was planning to do it.
The biggest thing that stuck with me, people who listen to the show know about my time with soccer in the streets, and how much using soccer for social change, for community good, how much that means to me. And I think it was one of the articles, maybe from the summer, where there's about a camp. It was a camp you did with Santiago Morning coming up from Chile, with a connection there,
Yeah.
and you talked about that, but you also talked about how one of the hallmarks of the soccer factory was kids who wanted to train, who needed to train. You never turned anybody away who couldn't pay. You'd always find a way to make it work, and you always found a way to give back and help those kids be in something positive and improve. And that comes at a personal sacrifice, because, I mean, as you said, like, this is all you creating this and building this yourself, and every dollar that doesn't come in through a paying customer, you're eating that to a degree, but you believed in it so much that was the right way to do it, right?
Yeah. So, we normally, we don't worry about always, the money part as being the primary part of this. I mean, we gotta understand that, to maintain a facility, a building, it takes money. You gotta pay bills, you gotta pay some kind of insurance, you gotta pay, so many things that go with that. So, we always try to make it where affordable for the parents they were able to pay. And then if we had people that couldn't pay, like I always had people helping me with scholarships. Um, like you talked about the summer camp,
Yeah.
we have a good connection with Santiago Morning, and we brought 5 coaches from Chile. They're all professional soccer
Oh, wow.
coaches, and they came here to help me to, build this. And like we had people that, couldn't afford the camp. They never been in a camp. They didn't know what it was. So, we found the sources to give them opportunity and a chance to know what summer camp is, and just to keep learning the methodology of Soccer Factory, the way that we want to train kids. We want to train them the right way, but there's always, a specific way that I will teach how to play soccer, and that's the way that I want to teach our kids, and try to follow all our programs that we have from recreational soccer to competitive soccer, to be, focused into the same end of it. Like we worry a lot about technique, ball, always doing stuff with the ball, and that's something that we do all the time. Every practice that we do in every group academy, in every training program, we like the ball is the more important thing for us. So like we try to build everything based on the way that I lived it, the way that I was coached. And then by me bringing, for example, the people from Chile was a good way for me to show our community and our parents and other coaches that know me from years that's our methodology of soccer. South American soccer has their own methodology of training, of playing. The 5v5 feel was something that I brought here because a kid will get 4 or 5 more times the touches and the activity on the ball than a 7v7 or any other kind of indoor places. When you play 7v7, you got 6 players in the field and the goalie, or you come here to the 5v5, you can actually see those kids participating with the team, going to the ball, passing the ball, because the field is smaller, and at the same time, it makes you participate with your team and in practice, all the stuff that we coach through through our classes, and that was the mentality, the methodology, or however we believe in soccer that I wanted to bring here. And on the time, like I've seen parents that they were asking me, that do they see a big change on their kids' technique, on the vision of the play, whenever they go out and play in the big field, 11v11, they can get out of small places a lot better than what they used to be a year ago. And it's because all those little things the way that I built Soccer Factor, it was to give them, for them to learn, there's different way of you can play soccer. Soccer is a worldwide sport, and we go to Europe, they play one way. Here in the United States, they play a different way. You go to South America, a different way. But in the end, soccer is soccer. We got to score the goal, we got to attack, we got to defend. So different ways of Soccer Factory was teaching our kids with that mentality of, be prepared for everything that's going to happen in the game. And that's something that, we wanted to keep bringing as far as like, keep coaching our kids to prepare them for the best. You never know which kids are prepared for go to college. They want to go to play higher soccer level. It's something and an opportunity that we want to help. We want to be part of that.
Yeah, and I think one of the elements that stuck with me as we were talking was that you've created this kind of family and this home for soccer in the community, and to the point that as you're trying to figure out what's next, you've got some of the kids and families coming out to help clean up, right?
Yes, as we speak right now, there's about 60, 70 people here right now, that between parents and kids, and we're all cleaning, trying to get this place, um, cleaned up for to be able to think better, to see what we got to do, and what is our next step, and we have parents that they've been here since like 9 in the morning, and they're still here moving some stuff because there were stuff not from just our building. There was stuff from other people's houses, like 3, 4 blocks down the road. There was other, so all over our outdoor soccer fields, everywhere there's just like glass and little bitty pieces of insulation. So people is like cleaning, they're raking, they're piling up stuff on one end, so then the big trucks can come and pick it up. Trying to salvage cones and soccer balls and little things that they feel like maybe I can reuse to, when spring gets here, we can keep going at least with the outdoor fields.
Well, our goal in doing this is to raise some awareness, and hopefully people all over the country, also in the Atlanta area, our home can spread the word and hopefully help you rebuild. I know you guys have a GoFundMe, and we're going to share the links on all of our social, but you can get to that at kysoccerfactory.com, and there's more about the story there. Soccer Factory is also on Facebook. You can follow there and keep up with everything going on. Is there any other ways that people can help?
Well, number one that I'll say, it's just keep us in mind and pray for us, pray for our community. Um, you know, like me, there's a lot of other people in here that lost everything, and we all needing something. That it goes from the financial part to, we got people across our roads here that their houses are gone. They don't have, they probably don't have nothing left as far as clothes, stuff like that. I know they've been opening some other places where people can donate, clothing, stuff like that. But for us, as particular for Soccer Factory, I just wanted to find the mainly help to try to get this place back the quickest possible that we can, so our kids can continue with their program. Because we had kids, they right now when I was there, they were asking me, Coach Chile, where are we going to be able to play again? And, and then you just don't know what to tell them.
Right. All right. Well, hopefully
And
we can help get that speeded up a little bit faster. I really hope, at least to get some outdoor stuff going and keep those kids active, because, I mean, we both know how
yeah,
important it is to keep the momentum going.
yeah, and that was the thing that that we had this indoor facility that uh, gave us all winter to keep these kids going and busy and doing what they love. And then spring was our goal to go to our outdoor fields. And still it just made it where it was a complete a scene for our players. Like if it was raining, listen, we don't have excuse. It's we got our facility, come here, we're going to train, practice not cancel. Like we have people calling me from other clubs around the area, from 20, 30 minutes from here. They're like, Chile, can we train over there? Because our fields are bad.
Right.
And we had the space. Yeah, I mean they rent it out for cheap enough that they were able to have a place where they can come in and do their practice. And not having all those kids just don't do nothing for the whole week. And that's what I feel like our main need is, just to get our soccer factory building back, because it's something that we used all year long.
Well, we are going to work really hard on our end to spread the word and hopefully get a lot of people hearing about this and able to help and telling their friends to help as well. Luis, first off, I'm glad that you and your family and everybody is safe. That's the number one. And I hope that we can help rebuild and get this done fast, so you can get these kids back on the pitch playing.
Yeah, man. I mean, really, really appreciate your time and the interest for our community and anything that will help us will really, really be appreciated. And if anything, like I said, they can contact me directly. They can send us emails or message Facebook, whatever people want to know or want if they need any kind of information. We are free and happy to tell them anything. We like I said, we are this was a family owned business, but it was more like a business. It was something that our kids were involved in it, and we don't want people to think that we just here because of the money or because it was a business. It's for us was more than that. The money part was not our main goal, but anything that will help us to get back on our feet will be appreciated.
I can't thank Luis enough, and his daughter, who helped get everything set up, as well as he literally took time out to tell us the story about the soccer factory as they're cleaning it up and trying to make sense of this craziness and also figure out what the next steps are. Hopefully, we can all help with some of those next steps. If you are able to make a donation, please go visit kysoccerfactory.com. There's a large donate button on the main page. That'll take you to the GoFundMe that is created to help benefit the soccer factory and get everything rebuilt. If you have other ways you might be able to help, spreading the word would just be great. If you can spread the word about this podcast, spread the word about the GoFundMe, about the soccer factory in general. But if you have other means to help and want to have a conversation with me or Luis and how that can go down, let me know, and we'll help try to figure this out. Places like the soccer factory in communities like Mayfield are central to not just kids becoming better soccer players, although that happens there. They're central to community, and they're central to having a place to belong, and they're central to keeping everyone connected. And at a time like this, it's so hard to keep those connections when you don't have places like the soccer factory. So hopefully we can all help Luis and his family get the soccer factory back up and running as soon as possible for those kids, for the community, and so those connections can really remain strong. Thanks for taking the time to listen to our latest 1v1. Thanks to everybody who listens all the time to SDH and spreads the word about what we're doing. We all love this game, and we all love the ability we have to stay connected to it and be able to talk about it on a regular basis. And it's up to us to give back to the game that has given us so much. This is part of that. So please spread the word about the Soccer Factory and join us next time for another 1v1. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.